Hello, and welcome back to the S.T.L channel. I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who's viewed, subscribed, and liked since the last video that I posted. It's been great so far. But today, we're going to be testing out 3D printed modular storage on my Centauri carbon. So, the wall behind my printer, and the drawer that I use to store all my junk, and actually tools to do things, is a bit of a mess and a bit bare. So we're going to be doing some of these 3D printed modular storages to help me organise it. Now, starting with Multiboard. Multiboard is a modular wall-mounted pegboard system of sorts, where it has all sorts of hooks, bins, shelves, whatever you can really think of, Multiboard's probably got it. Multiboard was made by Jonathan, also known as Keep Making on YouTube, and he has a website with a list of all the parts and everything that you could need. I downloaded the free demo pack, as you can see from the screen here. The free demo pack includes 2 bins with a drawer, a shelf, some hooks and fittings, just to get to grips with what Multiboard actually is. Now, moving over to Orc Slicer. When importing all the parts, I wanted to split them into plates based on my colours that I wanted to print them as. So as you can see, the first plate, which is the actual pegboard itself, I had that in black filament. Same as the stands to keep it freestanding, also in black. Third plate is all the parts and the fittings, I wanted those in a red filament, same as the tray insert and the actual shelf itself. And then finally for the last plate, I wanted those in white. I wanted to stick to like a black, white and red colour theme, just based off my own personal preference. And now, I'll just let you sort of sit back and watch the printing process. I like filming these printing processes, some people might like them, some people might not, but I just think it's cool just to see how everything's printed and comes together. Just to interrupt your viewing process, I do want to apologise for the fact that the red filament is quite blown out and overexposed. I am only using a phone camera, so I eventually want to invest in a better camera just to pick up on some quality of the colours. As you can see here, how I'm just showing off all of the little pieces and fittings that come with it. I'm actually quite impressed with how well like the threads and the actual snaps came out. I was a bit worried because I was having a lot of VFA artifacting in my printer, but I tightened up the belts and did a bit of maintenance prior to shooting this video, so I feel like it's fixed a lot of the issues that I was having. Had to make sure not to snap the little bin insert here, so I quickly used the scraper to get it off to avoid it snapping. Another thing to note whilst I was printing some of these parts, especially the shelf, it was quite thin, as you can see on some of these areas. I'm guessing that's where the fittings go, but as long as you don't press too hard, I think you'll be fine. Now that all the parts have been printed, we've got to actually assemble it together. Now, I watched Jonathan's video of him assembling the base kit together, and it was quite in depth in detail, but obviously you can follow along here with me. These little half screw things you have to fold in half, so we'll just quickly fold together all 4 of them. And what you do with these is you actually screw them into the legs which stand it up. So all you do is you sort of screw it partially in, and then you use the little square screw to sort of finish it off. There's a little arrow on the reverse side which you have to make sure is facing upwards. Obviously don't over tighten it because it doesn't need to be rock solid, but we'll just finish that off for the 4 of them here. Now that all 4 of those are screwed in, we'll clip it to the main tile. You can just push it into the bottom of these 2 little clips, as you can see, and I found it much easier just to sort of start it off and then place it on a hard surface and just give it a push. Obviously not too hard, you don't want to break things. Moving on to the snaps. So, as you can see here, there's 2 different types, one with an arrow and one without. The one without the arrow, as you can see, just pushes in as a flush push. This one is just a standard snap. Now, the one with the arrow, on the other hand, is a moderate weight bearing snap. What this does is you simply just start with the arrow on the top and you sort of hook it in and push down, as you can see here. For the screws, it came with 3 different types. Obviously one fat chunky screw. This one can just screw into the back plate on its own, doesn't need anything else. The thinner screw has to go into one of the snaps, as you can see, it just screws straight into a snap. And finally, you've got a folded screw. Now this one you just have to bend in half, and you can see it turns it into a threaded screw. This one goes into the tiny holes in between the bigger pieces. For the next piece it comes with is a simple hook. Now all you have to do, this doesn't need anything else extra, is on the little holes in between, you simply start off at an angle and sort of hook it into the hole, and it just snaps straight into the hole underneath. And to get it out again, just do the same in reverse, give it a pull, and it just comes straight out. Now it comes with a second type of hook as well. This one is obviously a bit of a chunky boy. Now this one doesn't actually click in by itself, you have to get one of the moderate weight bearing snaps. And to attach it to the back, you grab one of these little half screws it came with, put the snap on the back, making sure that the arrow is pointing upwards, and just give it a quick tighten. And once that's done, you'll just insert it into the backboard same as you would any other moderate weight bearing snap. I'll take out the old one first and then we'll insert the hook in afterwards. Now the shelf, it will attach the same way as the bigger hook. 2 moderate weight bearing snaps and 2 of the same screws, making sure that the arrow is pointing up towards the surface of the shelf. And simply just screw it in. Now to connect it to the tile, it just goes in the same as the other weight bearing snaps. Arrow has to point at the top, hook it under, and just give it a quick push until it snaps in place. Moving on to the bins. Now the bins have a couple of different ways of connecting to the multi-board plate. One on the back here, as you can see, just hooks onto the screw like we did before. You can also take it off and slide it onto the side sliding pieces here. This one isn't massively secure as it wiggles around a lot, so I'll stick to the prior option. But then the final way to secure it, which in my opinion is the best way, is this little multi-board slide. So you'll just unfold it after it's printed, and then the two little hooks will just hook into the holes on the back plate. And after you push that on, the bin will then just slide on. This is a lot more secure, and I'll probably stick to doing a lot of mine with this. There's also a way of connecting the two bins together with this slidey piece in the middle. I'm not sure on the names, but I feel like calling it a slidey piece is a lot more user friendly. But it just hooks the bins together and keeps them secure. You can take it off whenever you want. For the drawers, on the other hand, these will go into the bins, but without this small piece here, it will fall straight out. To secure the small bit on the top, you will simply just find the 45-degree angles and push and clip it in. It's a little bit fiddly, so just bear with it, but after a quick push it will secure into place. After you've got that in, you just grab the drawer, and as you can see on screen, you just simply hook it, give it a push from the bottom, and it goes straight in, and now the drawer no longer falls out. And this one I'll just hook onto the small screw here and secure that into place. Now, the bin insert that you print, this will just slide straight into a bin and will come out. There's no way of securing this in, but you don't need to, because it's meant for just being able to take it out of the bin and carry parts around with you. Now, it does come with a little label tab. Now, this one isn't massively secure on the bin insert, but don't worry too much about that. I'm sure you won't be pulling it off. But once that label's on, you'll simply just drop it into the bin, and now it can go onto either the shelf or the slide on the back to secure into position. For a quick overview of the multi-board starter pack, as you can see, it's quite easy to assemble. I've heard from people a lot of the parts, there's a lot of like snaps and screws and so on, but to help you guys out when I finally flesh out the wall and do it myself, I'm going to make sure I research the part names and include lists of everything that I use to build up my wall, just to make things a bit easier for yourselves. Moving on to Gridfinity. Gridfinity, made by Zach Friedman, is a open source modular drawer organizer, tool organizing system, and there's a lot going on with Gridfinity. It's very simple, but there's a lot going on. So there's a website, as you can see here, that will show you the basics of everything you need in terms of stuff that people have made, stuff that Zach's made, and it's all a modular system. But for the stuff that I demonstrate in the video today, I just used basic bins with label tabs and edges and so on, but you'll see that shortly. Moving on to how I created my bins for the video. There is a Gridfinity generator online, which I will link in the description, and you can pretty much use it to make any bins of any shape and size that you want for your Gridfinity system. Now, there's grid rows, grid columns, magnets, and so on, but you'll see that I just go with the bare minimum. So for this example, I upped the grid rows and grid columns to 2, kept the height on 6 units, which is 7mm per unit. And then for the grid base itself, I just kept that on 42, that's the basic. There's a stacking lip. Now the stacking lip allows you to stack these bins on top of each other, so I'm going to keep most of mine with the stacking lip. Now for the magnet style, I didn't want to magnetize any of mine, I didn't want to do any of that, I just wanted to keep it simple, so I kept that on none. I changed the bin style, or say changed it, kept it on standard. Now, the finger scoop is, as you can see, on the inside there's a little curved edge which helps you get parts out quicker, but I'm not too fussed about that, so I just switched that down to 0 so there was less of an angle. Now, the label tab as well, for this demonstration, like, I'll just take it off, but I've sort of added a couple of those in the prints that I do later on. Now, if you hit render, it changes, and as you can see, we got our bin. No finger scoop, 2x2, it's got its little stacking lip. And then, yeah, once you've got your design, you just simply hit download and put it into your slicing software. For For the base plate, you can also generate this on the website. I wanted to keep mine simple. Like I said, I didn't want to put any magnets into anything. I didn't want to screw anything together. I just wanted like the bare minimum thin, quick print, just to be able to take things in and out of the drawer as and when I need it. So obviously, as you can see, you can change the style to thin, and it will just give you what I printed, the thin, very base, and it is super quick to print. Like the 4x4 base that I created for mine, I think it printed in like an hour, if that. So yeah, I mean, you can obviously choose whichever style you want depending on how you're going to be designing things, but for me, I just kept it on the thin option. Now let's move on to our quick print time lapse. Now that everything's printed, it's as simple as just placing it into the base plate. The stacking lips work great, the organisation works great, it prints great. I mean, I can't fault it really. And that's the end of the video. I just want to thank everybody again who's subscribed so far. Like I said, my subscription sort of semi blew up since making the last video. The views went wild. I mean, I can't thank you enough. I really enjoy making these videos, and I'm really looking forward to actually expanding on these modular systems in the future. I'll be doing 2 separate videos, one for the multiboard and one for Gridfinity, so look out for those in the future, because like I said, I'll make sure I flesh it out and include any sort of part names, descriptions, anything that could help you guys out. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.